What's going on, good people? Welcome back, Fire Family, to Mars Day with Mark. It is your host with the most, Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibe higher. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button because we're going to dive deep into the astrology of the week, May 13th to the 20th. So I'm excited. I hope you've been well. If you can't tell, life's beautiful. Your boy's glowing. I'm having a great day, guys. Hope you're having half as great of a day as me, at least. Blessed be. Let us set our intention to connect with the energy of the solar system. Let's get our divine rhythm. Take a nice deep breath with me, guys, or gals, or non-binary pals. It's a great day. I don't know why I'm so hyped, guys. I actually just did some curls. Now I feel great. This is the chart of the moment. This is the 13th. I'm going to run you through the degrees. We're going to talk about the highlights. There's a couple themes. It's an action-packed week. I'm not going to cap. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to front. If you have your natal chart, your astrology chart, it would be wise to follow along with this, okay? So where we start today on the 13th, we have the sun, the gift of life itself. The sun is at 23 degrees of Taurus. You've got the moon at about 5 degrees of Sagittarius, waning through that constellation. You've got the planet Mercury at 5 degrees of Taurus. You've got Venus at 8 degrees of Aries. Mars is at 11 Leo. Jupiter's at 24 Gemini. Saturn's at 29 Pisces. Uranus is at 27 Taurus. You've got Neptune at 1 Aries. You've got Aquarius, Pluto, 3 degrees retrograde. North Node is at 24 Pisces, and the Black Moon Lilith is at 5 degrees of Scorpio. Holy heck, man. And we're going to break that down in just a second, but do understand, as far as progress is concerned, on the 20th, this is where we start episode 102. At that point, the sun will be in Gemini, in the first degree. Ooh-wee. So that says, guys, this is the last week of Taurus. We're going to live it up. We're going to enjoy it. You see what I'm saying? Look at this shiny crystal, guys. Do you see what I'm saying? Are you paying attention? Am I making sense? We got the moon going through the sign of Pisces. We'll be waning all week, guys, but this is about our last quarter moon. So we have 2 weeks of waning after the full moon. We're going to break down the lunar cycle and how that's concerned this week as well. We'll have Mercury at about 19 Taurus. Venus moves up to 14 Aries. Mars moves to 15 Leo. Jupiter moves up 1 degree, 25 Gemini. Saturn is almost done with that 29th. We're like halfway there, a little over halfway. Uranus is still at 27. Neptune's still at 1. Pluto's still at 3. But the Black Moon moves up 1 degree. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to get you guys the highlights. Let's move back. And I want to say, if this is a lot of jargon, if this is like, yo, slow down, Mark, you chill out, bro. Like, come on. If I'm kind of losing you, just understand a couple things. Astrology is a language. So it is going to take a little bit of time to memorize. Everybody has to kind of go through that process. So, you know, just take your time when you're going through it. And then second of all, there's a lot of repetition and keywords that you got to get familiar with the jargon. If that's a lot for you to take in, grab my book, Simplified Astrology, down below. And that reminds me to give a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by me, Mr. Simplified Astrology, Mark David Meyer with the Fire, your one-stop shop for astrology, your astrology coach with the most, and I can get you with your divine plan. Primarily, I'm going to be going over the planets in their sign positions, their cycles, their aspects, okay? There's a lot of ways to do astrology, and I recommend that most people start with their natal chart astrology. Get to know who they are, who you are, I should say, because I'm talking to you at this point. Find out who you are in your chart. Start relating to your planets, your sun, because I'm going to explain it in transit, and I'm going to show you guys, you know, my transits, because if you're wondering how I'm doing, I know a lot of you guys want to know. I'll show you. And this gives a good perspective on how other people can read their charts. You know, you put yours in the middle, you put the planets outside, you can see what kind of time it is for you specifically, what's going on. So you see what's up. You want to know how I'm doing? I got Pluto transited by the moon. I could never been better, man. I'm feeling amazing. Mars is on my sun. Saturn is being squared by Pluto. I've never been better, man. I'm feeling amazing. I feel like a god. And let's get back to the action. Let's get to the highlights. So what you need to know about this week, there's like a million things to look at, and I'm going to break down them all in ways that make sense. So the sun, freaky ass ball of gas in the sky. Oh my. is going to be going through the last degrees of Taurus, like we talked about. So we're getting ready for Gemini, number one. Number two, the sun is going to cross over Uranus. What the fuck? You see this? Let me go day by day so you can see what I'm trying to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, like Saturday. We got the sun conjunct to Uranus. Oh, shit. Holy shit, guys. Do you see this? Do you see this conjunction with the sun? Is the sun about to blow up? I don't know. Am I going to blow up? I don't know. Are you going to blow up? Perhaps. We'll see if it's like that. I will say that these two energies are coming together as far as time frame is concerned, because I'm going to go through the major aspects this week, but I'm going to give you time frames too, because some of these are more powerful right now. Some of these are overtones, basically. Starting with the sun, this shit's all week, guys. As we're getting ready for Gemini, we're going to have this sun-Uranus conjunction. Part of the week we're pushing into it, part of the week we're pushing out. Saturday is the very middle point. You see? For everybody listening, it's the 27 degree. That's when the sun and, Uranus go conjunct exactly at 27. But what that means is living authentically. This week may also kind of have an erratic undertone as far as the energy is concerned, because that's what the sun shows, is our life force, our will, our power, our constitution. But let me also say this, as far as next week is concerned, and the end of this week goes, we have the sun making a trine to Pluto, because the sun is going to go into Gemini. Aquarius is where Pluto is, so it's air signs. There's a trine, and that's a gift. That Pluto-Sun trine. These next couple weeks, I want to say, guys, they have a very powerful and transformative undertone. Let's talk about Gemini for a second, because this Sun-Pluto thing, it kind of brings me into the moon cycle. So I think we'll group those together and kind of slide through this. So Gemini season, we're going from Taurus, which is Earth, to Gemini, which is air. So that's going to be a whole different theme for 30 days, guys. It takes each sign a month to really pass as far as our astrology is concerned. So with Gemini, the energy is more open, it's more interactive, it's more mental as opposed to physical. Taurus may be concerned with simplicity and keeping things stable and consistent and practical. Gemini probably likes that too, but at the same time, it's more curious, it's more open-ended, it's more interactive. And it's so worth knowing, guys, that everybody, you have a house in your chart that Gemini is in, somewhere between 1 or 12. Like this chart, for example, this local chart, it's a Libra rising, and Gemini sits in their 9th house. So for the month of Gemini, the Libra rising people, they're going to have Gemini highlighting their 9th house of their chart. And that's going to be the part of life. And that's about learning, basically, for them specifically. That's going to make them the most excited. Libra rising specifically, which is 1/12 of my viewers, if you really think about it. This month is going to be about you stretching your mind out more specifically than others. But just keep in mind, if you break it down into your houses, it's going to make more sense. And then please understand where your Mercury is, that's going to dictate the action for Gemini season. So it's really worth understanding how you communicate with the world and where your focus is, how your perception works, okay? And also Mercury has a lot to do with your environment and how you get around it, your travel. That is a form of communication. So my advice for people in Gemini season is to open your mind, get social, clean your room, and get some variety in your life. Keep learning, keep expanding your mind. Truly, that's going to make life really fun and happy. And there needs to be a little bit of spontaneity. Taurus might be a little predictable, so you may see the gears kind of changing around this week. So anyway, let's talk about the Sun, Trine, Pluto, and get into that moon like I was talking about. So as we push up to the 20th this next week, you see the Sun is getting into Gemini, and that's when we start applying into the Sun, Trine, Pluto. So this is a conversation we'll jump into again next week, right? But do understand that there's something deeply transformative about these times. The Sun-Pluto trine is about personal transformation, stepping into your power. It's about being able to focus an immense amount of energy on yourself. Expectations could be kind of high over these weeks, but there's also something just deeply healing and regenerative about these times. And that's going to bring us into the moon, guys. So this week, the whole week, we have the moon waning. And what that really means is we just had a full moon in Scorpio. Okay? And the full moon in Scorpio, that was on the 12th. So I could back it up one day and show you guys, boom, it's right there. This was our full moon chart. A very intense full moon opposite Uranus. Good God. and Mercury square Pluto. It's like this was a deep release. I talked about this in the last video, the full moon video, and there were a lot of crazy edits on that video, and probably annoyed a shit ton of you guys. And frankly, I annoyed myself with those edits, so I'm planning on keeping this video a little bit more low key and not doing too much. But at the same time, these are crazy weeks, guys, and with the sun crossing over Uranus, and with the Scorpio moon pushing us into the waning period, I think that there's something very like emotionally uplifting about these times. There's a lot being released. And for me, a lot of my energy got freed up over that full moon. And I saw a lot of people in the community, in the Discord especially, this was a very volatile time for them. So as far as the moon is concerned, guys, we're waning all week, but at the end of the week, when we get into like the 20th, we have our last quarter moon. So as we go through this week and we're, going through the motions or releasing whatever it is, this waning quarter gives us the question, what needs to change within our lives? What needs to be adapted? What needs to be let go of truly? What things need to actually be removed? What behaviors need to be adapted to? So I think that's very beautiful. And, this week kind of has a serious undertone. Let's talk about Mercury. Because as we go through the later part of, the moon cycle, we're going through, Sagittarius, Capricorn is the moon's detriment. You've got Aquarius, which is next, the moon crossing over Pluto this week. And then we have that last quarter moon right after in Pisces. Guys, this week is pretty choppy as far as the moon is concerned. So employing some serenity, having some patience with yourself, being able to surrender to the moment and your feelings, I think that's going to be really powerful. And I think having some consistency on your spiritual practices, that's a given every week. But this week especially, super important for going with the flow, being able to process the emotions that you're going through. Because, there's a lot that's going to be unearthed, especially when the moon crosses Pluto this week. And you're just going to have to find a way to put that into motion and redirect your energy when things get a little dense, But anyway, go with the flow, connect with your moon. That's the best thing I want to show you when I talk about the moon is that, your moon is really going to show you where you need to take care of yourself. And the moon transiting your chart is going to show you, your rhythm. The moon is going to make aspects to your planets faster than any other planet. So that's really something to think about. Okay. So next, let's talk about Mercury. Mercury's got an all-week aspect. So let's talk about this. Mercury squaring up with Mars. Mercury is going to be in Taurus all week, guys. But as I can show you on the chart, where we start the week, Mercury is basically pushing up to Mars in Leo. And then around Saturday, the square becomes perfect. And then the rest of the week, kind of like the sun thing, it's waning out right after that. So it's a Mars-Mercury square week. What's that mean? There's something like highly emotionally charged about this week and kind of tense mentally. And I think it's, it's a deep focus. It can be really satisfying, but we have to find a way to balance this aggression and assertiveness so it doesn't be overdone. So we don't kind of get into conflict with ourselves and others unnecessarily. But I think the conversation, we're talking about Mercury, it talks about the value of passion, being able to do things with purpose, with intention, with spirit. I think for some, it's about ego and control. So, as we get further from the sun and the moon, that's where it really does become important that everybody gets to know where their planets are. Mars and Leo is asking everybody to do it big and to put their personality into things. And then you got Mercury Taurus saying, but make that shit make sense, make it stable, like make it worth something, and question the value of everything. So it's like, this can be deeply scrutinizing and kind of hard to deal with. This can cause a lot of fucking friction, guys. So I consecrate this magic wand, let's call it that, to bring peace and good vibes into our lives over these times with Mercury square Mars. Blessed be Fire family. We lit here, and I think sometimes it's worth just asking better questions. When you ask better questions, you can sometimes avoid conflict. You can get clarity where conflict never even needs to arise when we just ask better questions to ourselves. And real key words with Mercury square Mars, think before we act, truly. Like think before we act. It sounds so simple like that, but yeah, that's the thing. And also learn how to take some pressure off because I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. With the sun Uranus, with the freaky ass moon this week, with Mercury square to Mars this week. It's like, hell yeah, we get one more week of Taurus, but this shit is like intense. It's like the last week of school and you're excited to be done, but there's fucking finals in every class. It's like, holy shit, dude. This is intense. Oh God. Am I even gonna pass? Because we don't even know but I got the yearbook. It's like, okay, you gave me the yearbook. I hope I pass. You're gonna pass. Don't worry about it, fam. You're gonna make it just fine. You made it through 100 other weeks just fine. You're gonna make it through this one perfectly okay. I promise you. So let's go to the good news. We got Venus trine Mars this week. This is actually very special. All of this is special to me. I hope you love this fire family as much as I do. But Venus is it's an all week thing, and plus we get this aspect next week too, guys. So you'll see Venus in Aries, Mars in Leo. They kind of got some chemistry right now, man. They got that trine. And what that basically says is life is beautiful. There's a lust for life right now. This could be a raw creative energy that's coming through. Either way it goes, there's this love and this passion, and they're coming together in a unique fashion. So hey, enjoy yourself as much as you can. I hope this lifts our spirits over these next couple weeks. Focus on the beauty that life is. I think there's going to be a tremendous focus, like with that Mars, on love, which is Venus. So we might see this. Anyway, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. And what else we got going on? That's attraction. That's powers of attraction, guys. Aligned action that comes from all these other planets. I think the Venus and the Mars is going to make the journey more fun and also shift things in our favor because there's truly the energy of passion. It does something to the universe and the energy and the people around us. When you actually are absorbed in the thing that you talk about, passion is raw, and I think it speaks for itself, doesn't it? I've been speaking on this before the trine popped in, just when these planets hit these signs, but I was telling you guys, ooh, I can't stop the rhyming, fam. I'm not even trying to do this, but like I was telling you guys earlier that Venus and Aries, Mars and Leo, because they're basically doing some kind of mutual reception. Not technically, Venus is ruled by Mars, is what I'm trying to say. Because of this, there's like this powerful creative energy because Mars is ruled by the sun. It's like just the want to put yourself out there to express in some way. So I'm sure you're dancing and having fun and, just living life good. I hope so, fam. And if you're not, maybe get on living your life more full. I don't know what that means to you, but when you look at your sun, it should become more clear around here. So let's talk about these freaky ass other angles and kind of move into the higher time frames because this is about it. I wanted to kind of get these videos a little bit more concise. We can wrap these up in around like maybe 25 minutes tops. That's what I'm kind of shooting for. To keep them concise, to keep them like dense enough where there's a lot of quality in here, but at the same time not overwhelming and take a big amount of your time. So anyway, couple things to talk about is that Mars has an angle with Saturn all week. We've got Jupiter moving into a square with Saturn that's going to basically carry out for the next couple weeks to months. And then over these next couple weeks, Saturn's going to switch signs. And it's worth talking about Pluto again, because it really does set the tone for exactly where we are in the collective. And the first thing I want to tell you is that Mars and Saturn, they're sesquiquadrate all week. And that's a freaky angle, guys. This may be a little bit of friction as well. And then, as far as time frame is concerned, you'll see this play out with Mercury, Mars, and all that stuff. But Mars and Saturn, this is about our will and our drive. Mars being set up in a way that's really, stable and practical and, perfect even. That would be like Saturn. Intense expectations. There might be frustrations when it comes to will. Fear might even get in the way of our desires at times, man. Just because if you think about this on one level, Leo energy is about being me and bold and kind of being the spotlight in the center and things being really done up. And then you got Pisces, which is more impersonal. It's transcendent. it also is beautiful and imaginative too. So as far as Leo's creativity is concerned, sometimes the bar in Pisces is so fucking high you can't even reach it, you know? And I swear for emphasis when I need it, it's really that way, guys. You could be looking for this level that doesn't even really exist in your life. And it's worth knowing that it's good to be disciplined and delay your gratification, but sometimes, you might be barking up the wrong tree. It is about learning patience. It's about self-control. It is about being responsible, but work smarter, not harder. And at the same time, this is about, self-preservation and doing what's necessary first before you start getting into all the other theatrics, basically, is what I'm getting with this one. And then just balance. Don't be too hard on yourself is what I'm getting as a message for this week, guys. So let's talk about Jupiter-Saturn square, because this one is going to extend for, like I said, about a month. I'm actually show you. Let's go to next week, the 20th. And just notice that they are basically 4 degrees apart. So if I go like a week in advance up to the 27th, there's like 3. The next week is 2. The next week after that, there's like perfect. On June 10th, we get the Jupiter-Saturn square perfectly in the sign of Cancer and Aries. So what's that mean? We got about a month of this square. Well, actually, if you think about it, we got a couple more weeks than a month, as it breaks out of that square too. But this is going to be like a bigger theme for the next couple months, is my point. Just follow me with this one, guys. And frankly, we had Jupiter and Saturn making a square a couple times last year. They were bouncing in and out of this aspect because of both planets having retrograde cycles. So this should be basically where this wraps up. But growth is hard, gang. That's really the message here, is that everybody's got their own journey. This is a very interesting quest, and you have to put your limits to the test. It's going to take time. Expanding too fast can really be a problem. You need good foundations in this life is really what this is talking about. Dreams are going to need structure to grow. You're going to need time. You may need consolidation. That was the big word I got for this last year when I was explaining this, is consolidation. Is because Jupiter wants to expand and Saturn wants to contract. So you may need to kind of take an inventory in your life over these next couple months to kind of think about, where am I growing? Where am I shrinking? Where are I doing to cut losses? Like, where's my energy? Can I move it into a better place, basically? Can I get my priorities more clear? And be patient with yourself. We may not be the most happy about our limitations right now, but they are necessary to grow. So that's worth understanding. And I think this kind of goes into the next beautiful thing, and then I'll talk about Pluto, and then we'll jump out of here, and then I'll get on with my life, and I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'm going to have a great day, and you're going to have a great day too. But anyway, Saturn is finishing up Pisces. Jupiter's going to finish up, Cancer. And we'll talk about this over the weeks in Mars Day with Mark. So just understand, guys, we're on the precipice of something new. And with the personal theme being the full moon release and Gemini season starting in a couple days, that's just about saying, welcome to the new me. Let me bring myself into the world exactly how I want to be. Let me just demonstrate my will, my imagination through my action. Let my character be demonstrated by my being, by my action. Pluto's in Aquarius, guys. That's what that's about, is let your energy lift the world up. It's leadership. It's power to the people. That's a 20-year thing, Pluto in Aquarius. So stick around, hit that subscribe. And I'll be here until Pluto gets into fucking Aries. Okay? Mark my words. Mark my name. It's Mr. Meyer with the fire. Here to take the collective vibration higher. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't be scared to chase your dreams with Saturn and Pisces moving into Aries. It's your world. Take control of it. Be great and demonstrate. Make love, no hate. Blessed be, blessed we. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Peace.